family. There's no need to even say anything. There's no intro video. We're jumping right into it. You guys see the title. Obviously, everyone knows what's happening over in Colts camp. What was supposed to come in as a quiet offseason, the start of a rebuild in a new era, but you can't go long with, I guess, a case of drama. So, guys, it's out there. We knew I was playing running back. The contract situation was coming up. He needs to get paid. Pittman needs to get paid. Running backs across the league have not been necessarily getting their money. We've seen the controversy throughout the entire NFL. Fast forward to yesterday, where after a one-on-one meeting between Irsay and Jonathan Taylor, it's come out and it's official that Taylor is now requesting a trade in lieu of not getting the respect that he deserves. So, guys, I'll flip it to you right now. Gulick, I guess, instant reaction to the news, and where do you go from here?
Instant news. It's not great to see a player, especially a star player from your team, request a trade. Especially for me. A bunch of my sports teams. We don't really like in every sport, NFL, NBA. I'm not really accustomed or used to players requesting trade. So this is definitely something new for me. With the Colts, it's definitely been a while since a player has requested a trade from the Colts. Since really, I don't even know if he did, but Eric Ebron was really the last one to really, be vocal about wanting out. But, it's definitely something, weird to see because we usually take care of our own. But, my first initial reactions are the fan in me says, pay the man because, I love Jonathan Taylor, want to see him get paid. He definitely deserves his money. And, I wanted to be a Colt for life. Last offseason, he said he wanted to retire as a Colt. So that's definitely something I want. But I think his agent recently has just been, making his image look a lot worse, which is not really, ideal for Jonathan Taylor because, Jonathan Taylor, at least within his first 3 years, has been a guy who's been, viewed as, someone with a great personality, great teammate, stand-up guy. And, I think his agent is just turning him into a monster, or at least making him look that way. Just his facial expressions at these, being in the building at training camp, it's just been, really, really negative. And, it's just crazy how all of this, turned really within a matter of a couple weeks. But that's really just my first initial reaction. I don't think he's going to get traded, but it's just, it's crazy how this all flipped within a matter of like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. And so the agent thing is a big deal because it's a brand new agent. He's hired this guy, I want to say about a month ago. So it's not the agent that he started his NFL career with. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he's also Shaq's agent.
Yes.
I think so. Okay, so he's also Shaq's agent. And you tend to see that sometimes teammates will try to share agents when they're playing the same team, try to get the same deals. But I'm with you. I don't think it's a negative insight on Taylor at all. It's fully the agent. An agent kind of doubles as like a PR rep for you. And when your agent is out here making blasphemous, disrespectful claims, it's a bad image on you. And like you said, you're costing your client money, which essentially costs you money. And it's a bad look. Like you said, you're taking a guy where he's been similar kind of Colts culture, quiet, humble, never in any off-field trouble. It's really kind of out of sight, out of mind. A type of guy you want, just comes in, gets the job done, whatever. As a second-round pick, again, when he was drafted, he came in as the backup, was forced into being a starter, shows that he could be a top running back in this league. And again, I'm with you. As with pro athletes, your shelf life is so short. Get your money. I'm with the players when it comes to that, but it's got to be reasonable and it's got to be done right. And when you go about doing it the way you're doing it right now, all you're doing is hurting yourself. So, Marcus, we'll go to you. Gula kind of touched on it, but let's get from you as well. Your thoughts about it, and where do you go from here?
Wow, can we make it through training camp? Whoa. Yesterday I was, just sitting back, getting ready to watch the Crawford and Spence fight and, getting all hyped for that. And then I get this news coming across the phone about him, asking for a trade. I'm like Gulick. I mean, I'm all for him getting this money and wanting to be paid. But you signed a rookie contract. You signed a 4-year contract. let's fulfill that. Let's see what you can do this year in a new offense, new head coach, maybe possibly a better offensive line. And then we'll see, at the end of the season, where this takes us. I kind of firmly stick with Jim Irsay on this. I mean, we got other players. Pittman, he's due to it for an extension. He's not crying right now. He just sat back, hey, I'll play this season out and then I'll see where it goes. I really do think Jonathan's going to get his money, but this ain't the way to do it. This right here is not the way to do it. We don't need the distractions in training camp right now. You don't need, players' minds wandering and stuff like that. We need to handle this, as soon as possible. I don't think he's going to be traded, just like you said, Rondo. But I don't like it at all. I'm just going to tell you that I don't like it at all.
Yeah, like I'm with both of you. It keyword, distraction at the worst prompt time. New coach, new quarterback. We're trying to create a new culture here. And when one of your top weapons, a guy who's honestly supposed to make Anthony Richardson's life a lot easier, is disgruntled, it creates problems. And with you guys, and the thing is obviously, so the kind of core argument around the league has been the running back market and how they're not getting paid. I believe because of the franchise tag, only I believe kickers and punters in terms of the money amount have a lower franchise tag than running backs. Other than that, every other position, if they get tagged, it's going to get paid higher than a running back. And obviously, Saquon, he settled, but Josh Jacobs is holding out. Other guys around the league are obviously holding out to get money, whatever. And it leads to the argument of what did Taylor want. So I go back to the last two running backs that got paid, namely Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. I believe Christian McCaffrey got 4 years at 64, and I believe Kamara got 5 at 75. So respectively, I believe that's CMC at 16 a year and Kamara at 15. But here's the thing about those two guys compared to JT when I talk about getting paid. Christian McCaffrey got paid after 3 healthy seasons of elite ball. Alvin Kamara, I believe, has the most games he's ever missed in a season, I believe, is only 2. Mm-hmm. With Jonathan Taylor, talking a guy with rookie year. Okay, again, nice. Didn't necessarily miss a game. Obviously, year 2 blew up. Last year, sure, he played 11 games, but 11 injury-riddled games. You're coming off an injury into, keyword, the last season of your rookie contract. CMC got paid. He got paid on that year 4 where you're wanting to get paid right now, but you never heard anything about CMC potentially holding out anything. CMC got injured after he got his money. Kamara's obviously never been injured for a long-term period. If you want to point fingers at why running backs aren't getting paid, you go to the Todd Gurley's, the Le'Veon Bells. People throw Ezekiel Elliott in there. I'm not really necessarily with that. But there's a lot of other guys you can go to of why you're cautious about running backs. But ideally, it goes back to Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick showed that you can have a revolving door at the running back position and still be successful. So if you want to point fingers, let's point at him. But agreeing with you, Marcus, on your last point, this is not the way to go about it. I'm with you getting your money, but there's a way to go about it, and this isn't it. And lastly, I think the main thing has been that the number they're asking for is why the Colts haven't moved. CMC is the highest paid running back, getting 16 a year. Look, I love Taylor, but I'm not gonna buy it. He's not better than CMC. So if you're asking for CMC money or more than CMC money, you're gonna get laughed off the building, or they're gonna hang up the phone, and that's probably where the problem is.
Yeah, and it comes with the agent, man. The agent is just trying to push this agenda that, he's deserving of this type of money. And, obviously, is he deserving of this type of money? Yes, but you have to look at the market. If the receiving back is getting 16, your value is probably going to be around Saquon Barkley type money, which he only got 11 this year. And the fact that the Colts and Jonathan Taylor's agent, they're probably in 2 different spots monetarily, which is, really, really, it's just crazy the type of money that they're asking. But, if you look at other, running backs around the league, seems, yep, they are better receiving backs. But if you look at other receiving backs around the league, like Austin Eckler, he requested a trade. He's, a little up there in age. He's a little older, but he's got more to his game than Jonathan Taylor in terms of receiving. And has he gotten paid yet? No. Has he gotten traded yet? No. So in the grand scheme of things, I could see this, you know, desperation move of trying to ask for a trade, but it's not even the fact of, is Jonathan Taylor going to get traded? Like nobody's going to give him that money. Like if the Colts aren't going to give him that money, like nobody's going to give him that money. So it's just a tough situation all around for the guy. Like I really love the guy, but it's just a tough situation all around.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, Adam Johnson, appreciate your comment, appreciate you tuning in. But exactly, the two guys that name drop, Alvin Kamara, CMC, they are way better receiving backs than Taylor. Taylor is kind of almost in the class of Derrick Henry. Very good. You hand him the ball, but in terms of catching the ball out of the backfield, I'd say about average, maybe above average. But the Alvin Kamara's, the CMC's, the Austin Eckler's, that's where the league is progressing towards. It's so much less of a hand the ball off to a guy. It's a who can get open in space and get the ball to you in space. That's why kind of when we had Nyheim Hines, we were looking at him and not necessarily being the future, but as an integral part to the team. Obviously, we end up shipping him to Buffalo, and quick speedy recovery to him. Obviously, dealing with the injury that's absolutely terrible. But it's like you said, you got to play the market. Because here's the thing, Jonathan Taylor, let's call him top 5 running back in the league, looking to get paid. Dalvin Cook is a free agent. Dalvin Cook is a really good running back. Ezekiel Elliott, for a lot of crap that he gets, is a really good running back. Still sitting for Kareem Hunt is a really good running back. He's still sitting there available. Josh Jacobs is still holding out. And here's the key difference between Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor. John Taylor's still under contract. Josh Jacobs is technically a free agent. That's why Josh Jacobs can sit out. It doesn't hurt him. Taylor sitting out, he's injured right now. He's on PUP. Once he's healthy, that's a $50K fine every day you miss, sir. Like, and sure, you're a millionaire, but those $50K days are going to add up. And the Colts can fine you because you are under contract, like Marcus said. So, you're going to have to think about this correctly. And like you said, it goes back to the agent. Because what are you thinking here? Look, I'm not a sports agent. I'm no sports lawyer. But again, like I said, I got eyes. I can see the market. I see how it's going. I'm not saying undersell yourself, but you got to be realistic here. CMC got 16 a year. Kamara got 15 a year. Maybe you start at 15, but you settle for 12. You settle for 13. Get something. Like I said, your shelf life is so short. And lastly, I want to say it was Rick Eisen who said this. In the case of Taylor, like you said, where like you put a trade request, probably not going to get traded. Honestly, take it like you're Jonathan Taylor. What team right now is an absolute better fit for you? You're probably in the best situation for you in terms of the entire league.
Absolutely. And, if I'm Taylor, I look at this situation, I look at my agent, I see where the market is, with him requesting the trade. Just like you said, Rondo, there's no other better place than where he's at right now. I know Irsay, they're going to give him the money, but they want to see if he's 100% back from that ankle injury. They want to see, what kind of season that he can have, because he needs a bounce back season. Mm-hmm. Because last year, like I said, it was injury riddled. He still put up a little over 800 yards rushing, but he was injured. He didn't play the last 7 or 8 games of the season. He needs to play. That's the only option that I see is come back to training camp after you get off the PUP list, play your contract out, and then see where it goes from there. Everybody's on this hype train with AR and Jonathan Taylor, this duo that we're getting ready to have in this special offense that we're getting ready to vision. Jonathan Taylor, just play the contract out. And I think you'll be fine at the end of the season. I promise you, I know Irsay will pay you.
Yeah, I'm with you. We've seen it with other positions. Paris Campbell, a guy who me and Gulick probably talked the most negative about when it came to his Colts career. He definitely got 3 more years than myself or Gulick would have gave him.
Yeah.
Injury riddled years. Devin Funchess, that failed experiment. Granted, it was a 1-year contract. But like the Colts have shown over a short, brief history that you will get your money. Heck, we've paid positions that typically don't necessarily get paid. Quentin Nelson's one, Shaq's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Off ball linebackers and guards don't get top tier money. At least they aren't resetting markets. We did that. We paid DeForest Buckner. We paid Grover Stewart. Interior tackles, with the exception of Aaron Donald, aren't getting paid buku money to reset their markets. Agreeing with like what Adam Johnson said, and like you guys saying, for Taylor, you're probably not going to reset the market, but you're going to at least get paid comfortably, and at least going to get paid your worth. And as far as the NFL is concerned, as a league and as the market dictates. But if you're, like I said, if you're looking to get more than CMC money, more than Kamara money, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think in general, if you want that kind of money, you just have to be a receiving back, because we see guys like Aaron Jones within the past few years. He also got extended, and he's more of a dual threat back. So, if you're not really a dual threat back in today's league, you're not really going to get, that type of level money. I mean, even now we're seeing in the offseason, Derrick Henry's out there running routes with Colin Kaepernick working out. Like when's the last time we saw Derrick Henry run routes? Never. I think guys are just realizing that, if you want to get paid, you have to do more than just be a bruiser. And I don't think, that's kind of what, these guys are understanding, like Taylor. So it's going to be interesting to see. I just think that at this point, though, I think you kind of should trade him for the sole fact of the reason that, I'm all about getting your money, but it sends a bad message to the rest of the locker room, because, we're seeing guys right now like Shaq, he's happy and healthy. We're seeing guys like Defoe, he's really locked in this year. There's no real expectations, but, we got a vet like Taylor, it seems like he only cares about himself. He doesn't really care about the team. So at this point, it's all about who's in and who's out. If you're really in for this, he would play out the rest of his contract, because like we said, he failed his physical and he's looking for an extension, but his rookie contract's not even up yet. So I just think it sends a really bad message. But I just think you should trade him at this point, just because of like the impact that it has in the locker room. Because how locked in is he gonna be? Is he gonna play half-ass all year just to not get tagged at the end of the year? So I think it's time to move on from him personally.
Yeah, and I'm glad you bring up the failed physical, because it's a part that I left out. You failed a physical. You have any leverage you thought you had went away with that. So you literally can't even get on the field right now. The only reason you're not getting fined is because of that failed physical, because you're on the PUP. And so, yeah, and thank you, Adam Johnson. You took the words out of my mouth. He can't even get traded right now. He failed a physical. So you literally have zero leverage right now. Like, make it make sense. As we all said, it goes back to the agent. Who is this guy advising you? Because again, I'm no lawyer. I'm no sports agent. But common sense apparently isn't so common much more. And even last 2 year trade request. Okay, you put in trade request, like we said earlier in the show. Austin Eckler put in a trade request. Austin Eckler is more of that prototype type running back that you want in this NFL. Silence. Nothing. Now, is Taylor better than Eckler? Sure, I'll take that. I'll say John Taylor is a better running back than Austin Eckler. But when we were talking passing back, what the league's looking for, and that guy got no attention, no pull on the market, you think you entering your name into the trade market is going to do something? It's not happening.
And he's got to be very careful. He's definitely got to be very careful, because I keep hearing Evan Hall's name, throughout training camp so far. I mean, really, 3-4 practices already, and I keep hearing how good Evan Hall is. And I mean, he was good at, in college. So he's got to watch out, because, the NFL stands not for long. And, with you sitting there, worried about, how much money you're going to get and where it's coming from. And, like you said, he didn't pass a physical. And then he's demanding, then his agent, which is a clown, is giving him, I'm selling him dreams, I guess, because I mean, realistic. It's not going to happen until he can get on that field and prove himself. So he better look out because next thing you know, Evan Hall will be right on his tail. So
Yeah, and you would think Jonathan Taylor of all people should know that because when he got drafted here, he was sitting behind Marlon Mack. And again, let's be real, the only reason he got vaulted into the starting slot is because Marlon Mack got injured. If that doesn't happen, you were playing Robin and his Batman for at least that season.
yes.
And even then, knock on wood, I'd be respectful. But if Mac doesn't get injured, who's not to say that that amazing year two you had, that you're not sitting behind Mac again? So, you really got lucky that the guy in front of you unfortunately went down with the injury, which in almost Marlon Mack's case kind of basically ended his career. We haven't seen Marlon Mack really stick onto another team since then. So you should know firsthand how quick this league can hit you for one, and then just two, how important your health is.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of things really went his way the past few years, and like I said, he's been a very, very humble person, a very humble player, and it's just I'm just seeing a new side of him that his agent has brought out. He's almost acting like a villain right now, which is crazy that he's now becoming a little bit hated in the city where people love him. So it's really just a puzzling situation just to see who would really take him or how locked in he's gonna be.
I wish.
Only if that was the case.
Right, yeah. Bill O'Brien was the GM head coach over there for sure.
I mean, at this point though, with this house, who's gonna give us a first round pick? Even the McCaffrey haul from the 49ers last year, I think they gave up a second, third, a fourth, and a fifth. You're not getting that for Jonathan Taylor. So at this point, you might as well keep him. Just depends on the price.
Yeah, there's another, and I want to go back to something you said earlier, Gulik, about how the changing culture of running backs. It's not these bruises anymore. It's kind of like the conversation we had about quarterbacks in that everyone can move. Because you go to running backs, really after Derrick Henry, who else really is just a pure bruiser in this league at the running back position? I'd argue to say that majority of starting running backs are guys who can step out of the backfield and can throw him the ball. Henry's probably the only one where it's kind of give him the ball and get out the way.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. They're
Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb. There we go. Thank you. I knew there's another one. Okay.
I just got to say, I hope we get this figured out. I hope everybody can come to a positive solution out of this whole ordeal. But the trade market right now, I just don't see him being traded. Jim Irsay did say, yesterday that he will not be traded, not now or not in October. So basically telling Jonathan Taylor, you're stuck. The only option you have right now is to get healthy and sit if that's what you want to do. But best believe you're going to be fine for every game or for not reporting to the team, that you're not there. So that $4.5 million, rookie salary that you got coming could easily be sliced to half or either none by the season's over with. And then who's going to mess with you then once the season's over with because of the way that you handled your situation during the season? Other teams will look at you like, yeah, we don't want to take a chance on that guy. So because this might happen to us in 4 years or 3 years or 2 years or whatever, anybody decides to sign him. So I think if I'm Jonathan Taylor, I think I would, rethink what I'm doing. Go play this year out, like I said a lot of times, because that's exactly what I want to see him do, and then bet on yourself, once the season's over with.
Yeah, and again, going back to kind of experiences you should be able to relate to firsthand. Like I said, Paris Campbell, we saw him the last 2-3 years broken. Last year, probably the best season, definitely the best season of his career. Now, by all means, he didn't hit the market and go get paid, but he at least extended his career. Like I mentioned, Dalvin Cook is still sitting as a free agent, and he's a very good running back. Kareem Hunt has reinvented himself after going to Cleveland and is still sitting there. Josh Jacobs is still in a holdout. Saquon settled, That right there should have told you something. I'm with you, Marcus. That the onus was on you to play out this season, and then after that, play out the season, be healthy. Now there's your leverage. You have absolutely zero leverage in the preseason while injured, failing a physical, still under contract, trying to get an extension. And if people want to use the CMC argument, CMC had 3 straight healthy seasons of elite ball, including 2 years where he caught 100 passes as well as ran for 1,000. So you're not doing that. You're not doing a Camaro who went 5 years straight with, again, I think he missed maybe 1 to 2 games a year, if that. So you're not in the market of those guys. You're sitting roughly in the same circle as probably Saquon Barkley, in that you were very explosive your rookie year. Year 2 was nice, and then after that you've been kind of banged up. Saquon understands he's in a put up or shut up year. So are you, but you're under contract. Saquon had to agree to that. It's a bad situation.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
See, Aaron Jones. I wouldn't agree on that because I would say A.J. Dillon is kind of their bruiser in a situation. Aaron Jones definitely can is a passing back because, like I said, when Devontae left, I made the joke that Aaron Jones was receiver number 1. So I wouldn't throw Aaron Jones out, but I'm with you. I think the bruiser, it's Nick Chubb, it's Derrick Henry, and then I don't know, maybe Dante Foreman, who where is he? Is he in Chicago?
I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, like it. Just like the pure pocket passers are basically extinct now in the NFL, so too is the bruiser running back just handing the ball, although Seattle still should have ran the ball.
And the Marshawn Lynch, don't forget about Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
He was a bruiser too.
Yeah, but like I say, it's a dying breed, just like we've, again, seen with the pocket passers. It's going the wayside of as a running back. And who was it? They were on Rick Eisen. I watch a lot of Rick Eisen, if you can't tell. I want to say it was Marshall Falk, but he was saying, like, if you're a running back coming up, if you're not changing positions, you better start learning how to get out in space and use your hands, or you're not going to get your money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Got that right.
Oh, good question, because that's a perfect segue. All 3 of us will be at the home opener. With that, we're going to be at our favorite tailgate thrown by my friend Zach Carmichael. He's going to be on an episode coming up in the absolute near future. So make sure you guys are tuned in for that. Obviously, make sure you are following us on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, at First and 56. If you're watching us on YouTube or catch us right now, make sure you subscribe to Sideline Sports on YouTube. You're going to catch a lot more of our live streams, and not just us, but a lot of other great content creators on the Sideline Sports team. That word sports absolutely means that we cover everything. You name a sport, we've got somebody covering it. So not just the NFL, NBA, MLB, you name it, we've got it. But obviously, I don't think we got anything else to say here. It's a bad situation. It's supposed to be nice. It's only going to get better, we hope. All of you guys tuned in, listening. Can't thank you guys enough. We can't do this without you guys. As I mentioned, make sure you're following us on Twitter. Follow this channel on YouTube. Follow Sideline Sports on Twitter or X as well. But as for myself, Marcus Gulick, Sideline Sports as a team, this is 156. We will catch you guys on the next one because we are out.